Damian Lillard, potentially finally leaving Portland, and he's tied the most to Miami.
Yeah.
I think that's a perfect fit for him.
Yeah, I think Miami's a perfect fit for him. Dame is clear he doesn't want to play with a young team. He doesn't want to deal with the drama. And then people were talking about Miami, maybe bringing in like someone like I forget. There was a young player they wanted them to bring in, but I think Dame makes the most sense for that team. Damian Lillard and Jimmy Butler both have that hard-headed work ethic. They're both clutch in the playoffs. And then you'd have Damian Lillard fill fill it up with buckets and be a distributor. Jimmy Butler be his hard-nosed self, do whatever it takes to get it done, and then Bam Adebayo. So that would be kind of a perfect fit. And then you have enough players that you'd be able to give back to Portland if they're rebuilding. Definitely give up Tyler Hero for him, and then you could throw in Kyle Lowry, probably Cody Zeller in there as well. And I think you'd be able to get away with trading for Dame and being able to still fill out your bench. So I think that makes the most sense for him. And I think Portland should realize that you got to stop holding on to Dame. You're not going to rebuild with Damian Lillard around this team. And I don't think Damian Lillard can win as the best player on a championship team. And I think Jimmy Butler would be the best player on that team, even though Dame would probably lead them in scoring. But I think Miami makes the most sense for him. He clearly doesn't want to go to Boston because him and Jason Tatum had a back and forth when Damian Lillard was doing it live there. So I think it's really Miami for him. And then other than that, I don't think he's that interested in leaving Portland.
Yeah, I think it's Miami or bust, but I do think this trade is going to take place within the next 2 weeks or so, right before free agency begins. That way, when
Yeah.
they need to fill out their bench, they can appropriately. So I think we should see this probably by July 1st to see him on the Heat.
Yeah, I definitely think so because like you had Tyler Hero on that team before and you made the finals with him, but I think that would be the next piece and I think it would bring them closer. And I think if we kind of got like a Nuggets Heat rivalry over the next few years, I think that would probably be one of the best scenarios. And then Dame going head to head with Boston, there's already some beef there. Boston and Miami, I feel like is probably going to be one of the best NBA rivalries over the next 5 years, probably in the East.
Yeah, and there's already had that lore with the Ray Allens of the world beefing that up, the LeBron rivalry there. Plus, they've continued to run into each other every year or so, anyways. So
Yeah.
this is a rivalry that, and they've also exchanged blows. So I think this is already a good rivalry. But if they meet again and they got Dame Lillard there and there's some animosity there, and I also think that with Dame and Jimmy Butler, there's not like a clear one. I think um, Dame Lillard would be like the more higher score, like higher
Right.
output, but I think they'd both be 1A and 1B
Yeah.
because Jimmy Butler's more of like the hard nosed leader on the team, and then you know Dame would just kind of be like the distributor and the scorer.
Well, Jimmy Butler doesn't want to be a high volume scorer. He said, I'll do whatever it takes to win. And he said, if that's me scoring 10 points, getting 10 assists, and then locking down the best player on defense, I'll do that. And I think what they've been missing on that team is you can't really rely on Bam to be like the dominant scorer to fill it up night in and night out. If you have Dame and Bam kind of being the vocal point of the offense, playing that two-man game, and Jimmy Butler is just the closer on that team, and when he needs to take over, he will do it when Dame isn't off. I feel like it's a perfect fit because there's no ego on that team. I don't Dame doesn't have this massive ego that he's walking in the door with. Jimmy Butler doesn't have this massive ego, and you see the teams that really benefit from bringing in a star. It's the teams that are kind of already made and they're just missing that one player like what the Warriors did with Kevin Durant and then when Giannis was able to step up. So I feel like this is a perfect fit for Miami.